and we're only represented by two, and the two
Well,
towns
that's
have
the way
three.
you are right now though, Glenn.
Pardon?
That's the way you are with a 3-member board. You got 1 township and you got 2 from the towns.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, right? Except you're extending the board to 5.
Right, we're just extending it to 5, right, correct.
And the main reason we're doing this is so we can continue to have meetings, because they've had an issue in the past where they have to have, in the old agreement, it says that they have to have all 3 board members
Right,
there.
the quorum
to
was
be a
all
quorum.
3, right, and the quorum has been slightly changed. The presence of all three of 3 members now will be the quorum.
Right.
And those present and acting, that's the quorum, the 3.
What
Instead
action,
of all 3.
what action do we need to do with this today? Is this just informational for you?
Well,
or-
technically, no. I think the fire board wants each unit to review the changes and vote on that. Now, I sent an email to Chris, you don't have to vote on it today, but I think you have to call a special meeting to do it at some point.
Can we do it at a next board meeting?
We could do it at one of our board meetings, right?
You could. When is your next board meeting?
I think we've got to set
I
those
don't
up.
think we've set them.
Yeah, we're ready to, we've got, we need to set them up. The one,
I think this board needs to have a little bit of time
That's
to
fine.
review it.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion, we just table this to the next.
Well, you're gonna have to come up with somebody too.
Yeah, this is something that I think we should spend some time
considering.
considering it and studying it and discussing it
Yeah.
at a meeting, or having a special meeting just to discuss it.
I do have one question, and that is, let me just see if that's something. If prior, hello? Oh, hi, I just looked up. I was coming down the stairs. One of the points that we worked really hard on when we put this board together, is that we said that if there was anything that was voted on spending money, that the providing unit's vote had to be yes, because the providing unit is, in the end, responsible. And if the budget goes over, the providing unit has to make up the difference. So is that still in there, do you think?
It is still in the interlocal, but you have approval over the budget. You can say yes to the budget or no, and you have approval over any additional appropriations.
Okay, so
They need an additional appropriation. The provider unit can approve or reject an additional appropriation.
Nothing's changed in that respect.
No, nothing's
Okay.
changed.
So basically, if they vote to spend money out of something that's in their current budget, they don't need the township representative to approve that.
You have to
That's
excuse
strictly
me, I'm not
for-
an expert on this.
Well, and I
I'm
don't
trying
know-
to be kind.
I don't
that
think
was-
it's in there.
I don't think it is, no. It's either, you either approve the budget or you don't approve the budget, and then when it comes to additional appropriations, same thing. You can approve that or reject it if they need an additional
I
appropriation.
thought it was in there. But you know what, if we table it, that gives us time to look at it.
That's fine, that's
Because
fine.
I think it's a big decision.
I may have a motion on
You
the
got
floor.
there's a motion on the floor to table it.
But what you're saying is nothing's changed except expanding it to a
The board
5-member
membership,
board.
that is correct.
Okay, I'll second your motion.
Okay, Lynn makes a motion that we table this for till we can look over it, and Jerry seconds the motion, and the motion carries.
Now, was there any, in the fire board, was there any discussion about who they're gonna appoint or?
It was either this meeting or the previous meeting, Maurice instructed John Pfeiffer to select somebody, and he said that, what was he quoted, the Arcadia Town Council would be fine with it. So I don't know if that was mentioned.
So
Has Atlanta considered this yet?
We just passed a resolution last night, or the ordinance, or the.
Yeah,
the
you
ordinance.
had an ordinance.
Right, we passed an ordinance last night to increase the board to 5. That was the
Okay.
only change.
Okay,
And that was what I assumed, and I think everybody assumed that the resolution was gonna come before this board today to
Correct.
approve the same thing.
Correct.
And we just tabled it. They just
Yeah.
tabled it.
Yeah,
Do we have the resolution prepared?
yes, it's right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I've
but
got
that
it.
was the only change to
Yeah,
the
I got it.
interlocal at this
Got
time,
it.
was the resolution
Okay.
to increase it to 5, but nobody had been named.
No, nobody's been appointed yet.
No. We
So-
had to have that resolution in place by everybody before
Right.
Right.
it could happen.
Right.
So that was, I thought,
Does anybody know if Arcadia has
they
passed
will
their-
at their next board meeting. They haven't met yet.
Okay.
Theirs is the first and the third Mondays, I think. And this
So-
was just the second Tuesday, so they won't meet again till Monday.
So do you think that they voted? Do you think that the Arcadia, like for Maurice to say that, do you think that he's already saying that whatever?
I don't know how to take that. I don't know if they had something in agreement before that.
Well, I would think you guys, as a board, would want to have some input into that, wouldn't you?
Our board already voted last night.
No, I mean, in the appointment. You wouldn't leave it to one person.
I think no,
Sounds like
it's a
it's
combination of the two boards, but I think we've kind of said that whoever Arcadia picks will be fine. But
So Atlanta said whoever
I'm
Arcadia.
not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. I have to go back and listen again. I'm not completely sure, but it sounded like everybody was in agreement to bring it up to 5. I mean, and there was some concern too that they hadn't gotten the minutes from that executive meeting to know that was something that was said, that they hadn't seen the meetings, the minutes from that executive session.
Okay.
So
So Arcadia's meeting on the 18th, sounds
I
like.
believe it's next Monday, yes.
Okay.
All right. So, okay, that's been tabled then. And do you have any recommendation for us, anything that you see legally that needs to be
I think
changed?
No, I don't, Jeff. I think, I don't know that it really gives the township any less advantage, unless you see something.
My only concern as a township representative is, and don't get me wrong, I've been in favor of this 5-person board because I was at that meeting. But some things have changed recently that make me wonder if, for example, I couldn't make one of those board meetings
Right.
and our representative wasn't up to speed on maybe some of the financial aspects of what's going on, that if something was voted to do and I wasn't there to oppose it or at least voice my opinion, that it would carry through and it would harm the township financially.
Sure.
That's really my only concern as far as the day-to-day operations of the fire department. I really could care less as long as it gets done and handled and stays within their budget and all the procedures are done correctly. But I'm kind of concerned at this point that with my absence from that board, something could happen or be slipped through that I would normally voice my opinion against. And if we only still had a 3-person board, it could help eliminate some of that.
No, I understand, because it does give Arcadia and Atlanta really another person.
Yeah, I mean, the
Instead
vote,
of
percentage-wise, the
1, 2,
vote
right.
is the same.
Right.
That's not, it's that we're going from a quorum of requiring all 3 board members to be in there to having a majority. And I don't know, I have to think about that.
Yeah, I as well, because, you combine Arcadia and Atlanta, they're about 12% of the money's coming in.
But the ultimate decision falls up on the township. Because you got control of the budget,
I understand.
you got control of
Well,
expenditures. If you don't wanna, if they come up with something that's gotta be approved by you, and it's gotta be within that budget or we don't approve it.
I think that's kind of a gray area too. as far as the budget, we have to approve their budget when they apply for the budget. But during the year, as they're spending money out of their budget, we don't have the right to approve or disapprove how they spend their money.
No, that's true, but they gotta live within the budget.
Right. And that was a concern I had, was if they go over that budget, we're on the hook for
We're on the
paying
hook.
for.
Well, you won't go over us.
You
Well,
shouldn't.
We shouldn't go over, right?
But
You shouldn't.
Okay, so,
I think part of it is, there's some people that, I don't think everybody totally understands how money's spent out of the budget. And if they had a better grasp on that, I would feel a lot more comfortable. They think just because the money's in their budget, they can spend it. Well, that's not necessarily true. If we don't have the cash in the bank.
That's the reason we're wanting POs.
Right. And
but if they bring me, okay, so if there's a PO that's brought to me, and I just get an opportunity to go, okay, and I'm really, more importantly, is, okay, you want to spend this money, but I thought we were going to use that, I thought we were going to use this line item for this. Then I should be able to say no, but I don't think I have that ability to say no.
I don't think you do either.
So you're worried that they would move, move
Yeah.
one line item that's an important line item that you're going to need sometime in the next several months.
Yeah.
Right.
That they would move it out of the way, and then they would go,
Oh, well, we don't have it now. It's at
Now
the end of
it's
the
gone.
year, and we don't have money
Is that what
for.
you're-
I'm afraid there's going to be shortfalls at the end of the year, and I want to make sure that we still are able to provide emergency services, pay our people, and not have to get an emergency loan
Well, we
from the
can't- we
township.
can't get a
No,
loan.
I mean from the territory, borrowing from the township to fulfill their budget.
But if they do the POs,
But
it's
see,
gotta be
but see,
approved.
she's saying that I
No,
can't.
no, the township doesn't approve the expenditures, they just approve additional appropriations.
So
Right.
really, the PO system can't even be in place.
But it's still a good idea.
Well, it's a good idea.
practice, it's a good
I
practice.
agree, but I mean,
It's a
if I
good
can't, but if I
practice.
can't say no, I mean, no, I don't want to be the big bad guy. I look at this all the time. I live, eat, and breathe this. So last week, we had $3,000 in cash. That's all we had until we got our spring draw. Thank you. Right now we have $96,000 in that fund.
Because we got the early draw for the spring.
Right, and so everybody's like, okay, good, we got money. Not really, because that $96,000 is supposed to pay for the next 6 months. We should have enough to get us to July 1, and we're not. We're using the money that they're giving us to get there. Then there's also miscellaneous income that's got to be found to fund the next.
Let me ask you a question. If I don't know if I agree with your answer. Being a parent company, or what do you call it?
Providing unit, but parent company's not there.
Unit. And responsible for the budget or the monies. Why wouldn't she have the say-so refusing if it's the money is not there?
Well, I don't know that I can answer why. I don't know that I can answer the why.
Well, and the one thing, the one difference is that when we initially put this together, we had that an executive of each unit was there. So an executive of Atlanta is one of their board members. An executive of Arcadia, council members, and the executive of the township is the trustee. So if I was, and Jeff looks at these books too, so that's what he's saying. He knows about these things too, not as much as I do, but he's catching up. So when the fire territory board says we want to spend, or that they want to spend this, and Jeff's not there to say, hold on a minute, or to come back and go, do you think this will work? I mean, not to be mean, but just to go, this is how much cash we have.
We kind of keep our books balanced correctly.
Yeah.
It's kind of a check and balance system on that. We want this to succeed, but we want it to succeed correctly. We can't constantly be robbing Peter to pay Paul and borrowing money from different areas when
So far this month,
procedures aren't done right.
so far we've spent, it's the 13th of the month, and we've spent $19,615. I'm gonna have, and we've got quite a few bills that's upstairs on Audra's desk to be paid. So, and again, this money is really for July, not for
So
now.
you actually set it up wrong in the beginning.
Well, we set it up the only way we could with the DLGF.
Right.
Yeah, we're very,
We
it's
did it
very
right, we did it
handcuffed
wrong.
with the DLGF, exactly how this is gonna be
So
set
set
up.
up one from each
No,
community and
no.
one from the township.
Well, we asked in the initial meeting, when we tried to put it together,
Mhm.
we wanted to have more people on the board and the township board to have more representation. And that wouldn't happen based on the fact that we put more into the pot.
That wouldn't happen
And that didn't-
because, not the DLGF,
No, that
but
was
because
the
of
people at the table.
people.
So then we came back this year and said, look, let's even this out. Let's have representation based on the amount that everybody puts in. That's what our letter said. And then after our letter said that, then it went to this meeting and it got, okay, we'll do a 5-member board, but we want to do it the same way the 3-member board is, which is 3-2. So the representation, we got a 5-member board, but we didn't get more representation. We got the same representation that the 3-member board did.
So at this point, it's no advantage really to go to a 5-member board other than you'll always be able to have a meeting, pretty much.
Right.
And that was one of the major things discussed.
That was one of the major
That was
things
one of the major
discussed.
things. Can I go back to your question a little bit? The equipment fund is a little bit different. The equipment fund.
We don't even have one.
Okay, the equipment fund is different. She can reject, she has to be in agreement. The executive of the
The
township has to
DLGF
be.
didn't, they gave
Yeah,
us the
yeah,
ability to
okay.
have one, but they didn't fund it.
It has to be approved by the executive board and the executive of the
But
provider.
I don't get, if this board approves the budget, what stops them from overspending that budget? Nothing?
Nothing.
Well, she's practicality, she's not gonna write a check for.
Well, that's what I
bounce a
said.
check.
Well, which is why I should be able to say no to a PO. Hold on a minute, we don't have the money for this, we're not spending the
Well,
money.
same difference. You're not gonna overspend
I'm
because
gonna,
you're responsible.
but if the POs come in,
Right.
So you still have to say so. No, I can't, I'm not spending, I'm not approving that.
but then you go back and say this doesn't give me the right to know.
Well, I mean, technically it doesn't, but you get to a point where you can't write a check when you don't have the money.
Right, which is where I was very, very
Be-
close to
because
last
You
week.
start at the beginning of the year, it doesn't give, if it gave the providing unit that discretion, then she could say, no, you're not buying that new equipment, or no, you're not paying that person's salary.
Well, I'm gonna look in there because I appreciate it being tabled, because I wanna read that, because as I remember, that was the one thing.
So we need to have a special meeting on this.
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea, just a meeting strictly just to discuss
Probably
this
not.
document, because there's a lot of stuff that I've read into it that I think needs to be modified too, that, like, things like that need to be added to it.
Well, one thing that Bill Cook said, Bill Cook being Bill Cook, he said, in putting it
Don't talk
together.
about my family.
I know, I'm not. The one thing that he did say was, he said, I think it's fair. She should be able to say no. It's her budget.
Right.
She's responsible for it. She should be able to say no. And that, I'm like, okay, I'm good with that. Because it's scary, and like, especially when you're a trustee for 3 months, it's really scary.
So
I'm not
can't
as
that be added to this?
I think it's there. I don't know where it is, but I think it's there.
Well, it could be,
Because I think this is a big stumbling.
but I don't know that Atlanta and Arcadia are gonna approve that.
Well, why wouldn't they? I mean, they don't want to overspend the
Yeah.
budget either.
I think something that would help is if a financial report of some sort was generated for the fire board, so every time they met, they knew where they were at.
We do.
Yeah,
Every month.
okay, so you do.
I take that with me to the board and I
This
hand
is,
it to
Okay.
them.
this shows what
Okay.
the fund is, and this shows
Okay.
everything that's spent. This book has everything that's spent year to date.
Okay,
And they've requested a hard copy of that from now
So-
on at each board meeting.
So if
Just
Jeff cannot attend the meeting, if a 5-member board is created, why can't you or representatives, it's a public meeting, be there and present that
It's there it's been at every
I take
meeting.
it- I
And
take
it's
it.
been
Well,
at every meeting before, it was
But
just sitting up there.
couldn't somebody from this board be at that meeting in the audience, just to,
Well, we'd have to just, have an alternate.
Yeah, and there's nothing, right now, there's no proposal for an alternate.
well, I don't mean an alternate, but I mean somebody, a concerned citizen representing this board, be it in the audience.
If I wasn't there, then one of you two could show up, but if I was there, and you can't be there, cause that'd be a quorum for
Is that
our.
right?
Well, there were alternates before there was talk of a 5-member board.
But that's the reason they're doing
Right.
But
five.
that was
So,
when-
so
that's
do you
when-
want 5 members and alternates?
No, we were
No.
dropping the alternate part
Okay.
when we went to the 5-member board.
Okay, so if you're concerned about somebody being there in your stead, why not keep it at 3 with an alternate so that somebody could be there in your stead for every meeting? You don't want,
Well, we could just drop the 5-member board and go back to the proposal of having the alternates.
but then there was talk about those alternates may not be as well informed about what goes on if they don't go to every meeting either, so.
When were the alternates discussed?
They're alternates. We had a resolution passed.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
Jeff is on the board, like I really am I'm really on the board. I'm on the fire board. But Jeff is my alternate and he's
That's fine.
attending for me.
Okay.
As a taxpayer, if the fire, I'm surprised at the independence of the fire board. I mean, now that I'm learning more about this, that they have as much independence once the budget is given than they do. It's surprising to me, and as a voter, I would want to know if they overstep their bounds, who do I go after? I can't go after Atlanta, can't go after Arcadia. I want to come
You know,
after you, and you guys aren't there.
No, but-
when the decision was made. So that's, I'm actually surprised at that. That's just
It
an
is.
observation.
It's,
But as the person who you should go after, because it is my responsibility, and that's one of the things that I've said on numerous occasions, is that any of the decisions that are made, you have to understand at an audit, or if there's any problems, the person that sits at the table is me.
I always thought they were a recommending body more than an independent body that once they, so that's another.
It's a concern. And it's not that we don't want them to run the fire department. It's all
Yeah, you don't
about,
wanna
to me, it's
micromanage
like-
it.
Yeah, I don't want to micromanage this. I want it to be fiscally, correct and sound. Because we do have.
So is it just a matter of trust?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, and how do you get from having no trust to having trust? How do you go
Well,
down that road?
Being a provider and responsible for the monies, the real trust would have to be 3-2 with the township, to me. That way the 3 people are there to protect that budget. Because you guys, Atlanta and Arcadia, really don't have to worry about that. Because you're not responsible for the monies at the end
But
of the
we're
year.
not unaware of that responsibility and where it does lie.
That's true.
And to think that we're not ethical enough to operate within that.
Well, as you've noticed, we're having problems now with expenditures and not knowing why or when, or they're buying stuff without approval.
Who's buying what?
Well, we had one incident where they bought, what they buy for, it's 4,000.
That was when they were going to do the Atlanta station. I don't think they realized it needed to come out of the budget.
Oh.
They thought it was in a different area
Yeah.
than it was. They thought it
I
was-
don't
they had money.
have a problem that they do. I don't, personally, if I thought they were overexpending, I'd be there in the audience
Yeah.
raising hell. I mean, if they want it to work, they're gonna have to do it by the book, to me.
But the overall accountability is to the elected officials that are over the county, the township. I mean, the town,
Right.
and
But
it's
being-
very hard, well, I don't know, okay, I'll shut
But
that
being-
down some other time.
No.
but I get it.
Being
Territory is
elected
a-
officials of the 2 towns, that's it's their responsibility to make sure that it's run right too.
It is, but I don't know how, the board that's supposed to oversee the township is you guys, it's not the fire territory. The fire territory was a convenient way of trying to have a group of experts that have interests in consolidated services. And so that territory should not be an independent body, in my opinion.
It is by statute.
And so, okay, so yeah, so I'll shut up now. I know, thank you for letting me comment.
No, I mean, there are people in my world that say, oh gosh, fire territory, those people can get their own tax rate and do whatever they want. I mean,
Which is probably why they don't like them so much.
They don't like them so much, because they do have a lot of authority.
And I guess now for the first time, maybe I see the DLGF. I mean, I can't believe that I would ever side with the DLGF, and I'm not going to really say it in words. I hope that does take that on recording. But I think that's why they don't like it.
They don't like them.
And one of the things that we did when we formed this was we said that everybody on the fire board should be elected, so that if they didn't do a good job, they could get.
Well, that's what I'm kind of wondering is how do I hold, Atlanta or Maurice accountable for?
You can't. So
No,
basically,
you can't. But who gets held responsible?
the fire board could totally screw this up, and the board members from the towns walk away scot-free, and the township stand there holding the bag.
And really, it's not the township; it's the trustee.
Now I understand why there's so much discussion. I've been to all these meetings, and most of the meetings are about process. Who does what? Who agrees to what? And it's all process, so it's because the process doesn't actually make sense as a parent company.
This was all pushed off of us from the county commission.
Okay.
And then they didn't have the balls to stand up and say, we're gonna form a district. They
don't want any part of it. They know what's going on.
Well, would you?
No.
But wear their pants for a day and see how you feel.
We got it though. Where are we going with it? We got the ball.
I don't know. I was pushed out, so I don't know.
Okay, well, we've got that table, we've got the motion made. What else do we have on the
Well,
agenda?
there's a couple of things, but I think we can let Jeanette go on.
I'm not in a hurry to.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
That's
we
fine.
skipped
What
over some
else
stuff.
you got?
You need to take a recess?
No, I'm not.
The one thing that I need is that I'll let you know that we got the numbers taken off the Explorer, and it looks awesome. Please on your way out look. And if you ever have anything like that, the young man who did it, his name's Mike. His dad owns a shop, and he did a fabulous job. I can't even see where the numbers are.
Good.
It looks like I can print these out, I should have probably, but I looked on Kelly Blue Book and it said anywhere from $33,000 to $44,000. There you go, buy an Explorer, $33,000 to $4,400 is about what the cost of the Explorer in fair condition. I was told that it was not safe to drive. So I took it to Case's, and Case said, there's an ABS sensor that needs to be replaced in the reel, and that makes a lot of funky things happen on the board. That's $322 to replace it. There's a list that Chief White gave me, things like the electric mirrors don't work, the cigarette lighter doesn't work, the passenger side door won't lock, but it's a 2005. I mean, it just kind of seemed like the list that you get with most
That doesn't make it
2005.
unsafe.
I know, and Case told me that it was safe. He's like, now, it's a 2005 and it rattles. It rattled a lot because they didn't take the stuff out of it.
So there's all the tools in the back.
Yeah, there was like a great big crowbar and a set of industrial cables and some hammers. So I went over to the firehouse and said, I think you guys ought to take this stuff out. I don't think we need it. There was also a Narcs lock.
You're putting that on eBay.
I am, but I'm wondering like,
Oh, you need some direction from us on how
So
much.
you said how much again?
anywhere from like 35 to 44. And I'm not 100% sure how to do eBay, but I'll
Well,
learn.
you put a reserve on it.
Yeah.
Reserve, so that's the,
You just put the reserve on there.
What do you guys want the reserve?
2005.
it's a
And you don't
2005.
expose the reserve.
It's a 2005, and I looked up the Kelly Blue Book. And if you want to, even if you just said that you want Jeff and I to sit down and pick a reserve, that's fine. But it's a 2005, it has 99,000 miles on it, new tires.
I'd say 3,000.
Yeah, let's have a reserve of 3,000.
Yeah, because after it says reserve not met, and then it goes to $3,000 or 3,001, reserve met.
Yeah, it says it changes. It
So
says
then-
reserve.
It's a minimum bid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Minimum bid is $3,000.
Yeah.
You can start the bid
Well,
now
that keeps us,
2,000.
but that wouldn't keep somebody from giving us 4,200 for it.
No, no, no. You may get $5,000 out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask it's not very clean, so it was given to us not very clean. I did ask Chief White if he could have the guys wash it,
Okay.
you know? The inside needs cleaned out too, and then I'm just gonna take some pictures and I'm gonna learn how to put it on eBay. And Audra's done a bunch of stuff on eBay and away we go.
Okay. Well, does somebody want to make a motion on the minimum bid for that? Reserve bid.
I'll make a motion of minimum.
Reserve bid is what?
Reserve bid is 3,000.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion carries.
Okay,
Is that okay? Does that give you some guidance?
that's fine, and then I'll get on it. We are up for, our insurance is up for renewal, and I forwarded some information to Chief White to fill out some forms, and so that'll happen. Hopefully, they want to meet in June, so if you could please let them, I'll write an email too.
Yeah.
But the fire board said they wanted to be a part of that decision making. I want to put it on record that they were invited to the meeting last year and no one came. So it's not that they've been excluded, it's that no one came. So I'll give them 3 dates that the insurance guy will be here and they can choose to come if they'd like.
Are you gonna be able to be at the June meeting? Vacation?
And we need to set our meetings.
The
and
one
talk.
meeting for the fire board that's set in June, I think it's June 18th, I can't attend that meeting. But if they have any emergency meetings before or after that, I will not be able to attend. I'll be out of town on vacation. It just happened to be that's between 2 days.
Should somebody go to that?
Well, I'm wondering if I can't go, could an alternate go to that? Just so, I wanna keep the ball rolling on this fire board, and I don't wanna hold them up.
What do you haven't seen the resolution on the alternate though, have you?
No,
Is it currently
No.
in force? It had to be in force
It's
because
in
I
force
took your
because you're
spot.
here, yeah.
So I'm your alternate, so in theory, you could go in your place.
But I can't choose another alternate. Could I choose it? I wonder if
I
I
don't
can
think
use a
so.
second one.
I haven't seen it, I can't speak to what you guys
You
did
have
on
that
that.
document electronically, you could forward to her.
I can forward it to her, but I
Okay.
don't have it.
Okay,
I could probably whip an email off to Jeff Logston too, and he can answer me real quick.
Yeah.
But
we need to
That-
cover the planning commission too. I don't know if Glenn's got anything that's on,
So, the next fire board meeting is June the 18th.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so what about the next township
I
board
didn't
meeting?
even ask me that. When, do you, first of all, the next township board meeting, do you foresee us, how much stuff do you foresee that we're gonna have on the agenda for that? I would imagine we're
We
gonna have
need,
this
this board
resolution.
needs the fire territory budget.
Okay,
Other than that, I don't foresee us,
Well, if that is in our hands for the next meeting, then we need to have a special meeting to discuss this interlocal.
can we do that? Can we have a special meeting to discuss
Absolutely,
that?
absolutely. And you're all here together, so that's perfect if you said it today.
Is it a public meeting or?
Mm-hmm. It's just a public meeting.
Okay.
or would we need an executive meeting?
No, you cannot have an executive session on this.
Okay,
It has to be public.
all right. Would you like to propose we have a special meeting to discuss this?
Yes,
When, how much time would you like? to
I'm
prepare
covered
for
up,
that?
so I don't care.
Well, last time I talked to you, you were gonna be on vacation
But I'm
today.
not gonna be on
What
vacation
time
for
are
a
your
while.
meetings? Are they,
We moved them to
6:30.
6:30, I believe, yeah.
did you give that information to us so we can put it on the website?
Let's see.
I will, it's in the
Jeff,
minutes.
I'm open the rest of the month. I got poker Thursday the 4th, then I'm open the rest of them. What can I say?
Would you be, how about the 27th of this month?
I'm good.
Wednesday, the 27th.
The special meeting?
Special meeting. May
Did you
27th.
ask Lynn?
Glenn, will that work for
What
you?
day's that on?
It's on a Wednesday. Just like today.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't wanna interfere with your going to the casino.
What time?
Casinos tonight after the meeting,
Okay,
Cicero.
3 o'clock, okay with you guys?
Got it. Got it. Okay.
You want to set any in June? I don't have much available in June, I'll be honest with you, but you guys can have a meeting without me, because all you have to have is two of you
I
here.
can't on the 9th, other than that I.
What happens if the territory board needs to meet and you're not here?
And they can't meet.
They can't meet right now, they have to have three. That's their quorum
But if
requirement.
he's my alternate, can I go? I should be able to go.
You should, but I haven't seen that resolution that you guys did, so I don't know.
Okay.
You know, as lawyers, we have to see that piece of paper, see what it says.
I understand you
We
guys.
can't take
You
anybody's
guys
word
and
for
gals.
it.
You guys and gals, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, June, I can't do it the 5th or the 9th. Got a golf outing.
But we're doing one the 27th.
Free.
Probably wanna do one later in later in the month, wouldn't we? Because we're doing one the 27th.
Well,
Unless we
we
have-
didn't want to do it in time to go over that budget.
Yeah.
If we, in case we refused it,
Well, why
send
don't
it
we
back.
have one on the 27th? When's the next fire board meeting?
That's a Saturday.
I'm gonna have to look at it. I didn't
June
put it on the
18th.
Did you say the 27th of June?
calendar. May,
At May is our next meeting. When is the next fire board meeting?
June 18th.
June 18th, I believe.
How are they gonna get people hired if they don't have a meeting?
Well, the safety board. can do
Okay,
that.
we got the special meeting for the 27th of May.
Next fire board meeting is May
Yes.
20th. May 20th and then June 18th at 6:30.
So if they can get the budget done by the 20th, we can look at it the 27th.
That's why we got
Okay.
the 20th, yeah.
Okay?
There we go, sorry.
I don't think you're gonna have
I'm gonna still push.
it. I know.
Yeah.
You guys are totally losing me here. When we're gonna have another meeting in June?
We haven't really set a date.
Oh,
You wanna wait till the 27th and
Why
set a
don't we
date?
wait till the 27th? Because we may
Okay.
have to do something for the budget.
okay,
Would that be all right with you guys?
fine with me.
Uh,
So we're meeting the 27th at 3 o'clock.
uh,
And we're meeting here.
and we
And I'm
had you
gonna
in-
come again.
Are you really?
Yeah, I am.
Maybe we'll have coffee next
Ooh,
time.
that'd be nice. You want me
Yeah.
to
Need
get
bigger
something in
brains.
Cicerone
Tells
on
me
my
you
way
can't
in?
download
Well,
that.
as you
McDonald's,
noticed, I
Dairy
brought my own.
I got some water. Hey, did you notice the flowers out front?
I didn't have time.
Some
Okay,
flowers out front, nobody noticed it.
all right, we're meeting the 27th, that's all I need to know.
Lynn, did you have anything on the planning commission?
Planning commission meeting tonight, 7 o'clock. We're, on one issue on the agenda, and that is, farm ground. They wanna pull out, a 12-acre plot for a 3-acre place to build a house. And I'm sure that'll be approved, and hopefully I'll ask them about the new map for the TIF district. Everybody thinks that we're gonna make money off of the new corridor on 31. And that is a TIF district, and none of the money goes to schools or anything.
Really?
So, that is the county, and the money, what do they do with the money? The money is for the infrastructure, if you will, to build the roads, probably to get off the interstate. Maybe if there are businesses there, they have to have frontage roads and et cetera. I don't know about sewage and all that, electric, whatever, but the TIF money, kind of keeps it all. School, nobody gets it. So, everybody's planning on making the money off Quarter 31. There's not a nickel coming our way.
So who tipped that?
The county, I want
County
the
did.
commissioners.
So I want it recorded in the meeting minutes that the county tipped that area and we cannot recuperate any money to provide emergency services.
That's my understanding.
When you create a TIF district, the tax they're paying at that time, it still goes to this,
Right.
schools and whoever. It's the
Everything.
money
increase off
above
that.
that
Yeah,
Yeah.
goes to.
And please understand, the county would not have done that had it not been requested by certain businesses in
That's
this
right.
township, okay?
So
Current
They would have
businesses.
never done that.
Current businesses.
Right.
My concern and issue with the county and the state also is how they can create TIF districts, how they can do things within our township, tax abatements, things like that they've done in the past, without even considering discussing it with the government entity that it's inside of.
Well, you do, the government entities, the taxing units all get a notice of those hearings before there's an abatement granted. Everybody gets a
Did we get
notice.
I got one.
Everybody
You got
gets a
one.
notice for the hearing.
Now Cicero's created two
And nobody ever
TIFs.
shows up for the hearings, so.
We've created
Well,
two
from now on,
TIFs
yeah.
and everybody was notified.
Yeah, where my business is a TIF district, they pulled millions off of that. And
I'm not opposed
they
to
spent the money, I think, unwisely.
I'm not opposed to TIF districts, I'm not opposed to tax abatements. But as small as our budget is and the territory's budget is, and when the county is gonna expand roads and things like that, it's gonna affect the services that we give.
And you should also talk to the businesses who are coming to the elected officials, convincing them that they have to have these TIF districts and these abatements.
They're created for the purpose of infrastructure.
Abatements are asked for by these companies.
That's what they're created for, infrastructure
Yep.
mainly. I mean, but and the state legislatures are starting to attack these TIF districts.
Yeah, they
Glenn,
are.
can you do us a favor and find out more information on that TIF district and any businesses that are in that TIF district that's affected by this?
I'll see, I
you
probably
have-
will not have that
It's
info
not
tonight
gonna,
because
it's
I'm
not
probably
gonna
not
do you any
available,
good.
but I can take it out.
You know, Jeff?
If we could
Yes.
get that, it might educate us a little bit.
Now, something else too, along those same terms, 276th Street is going to be widened, and we have a cemetery out there. And they have this great big book that maybe you understand, I'm sure you do. But they say they're gonna widen the road, and I don't know, I've kind of thought about just calling and saying, can you just give me the Reader's Digest version? Because it sounds like they're gonna take it right up to, there's a ditch, and then the cemetery, and the cemetery they've taken the rocks out of the fields and made like a rock cemetery, or a rock thing around it.
They just did that in Indianapolis, did you see
Border.
that?
No.
They moved the cemetery.
Well, I don't think they're gonna move it,
I don't think they are either. I haven't heard anything that they're gonna move it.
but they are gonna encroach and get pretty darn close.
They might get pretty darn close.
Yeah, but
And
these
that's-
people don't care now.
Yeah, Jeff Herndon flew in on that because he's had to deal with road widening.
Well, you know, Jeff Hearn at a meeting said that they were doing something to a road, and this man came out and said, I can tell you for a fact that my grandmother's buried right here, and it was right close to the road, and they took x-ray stuff out there, and sure enough, there were bones there, and that road jogs
Yeah,
around it.
yeah.
Because we need to put, that was the next cemetery I was gonna put
Was
fencing
it
in.
Robert Summit, is that?
No, this is
Okay.
across the
'Cause
street,
I know
down the street.
they came to something, when they were talking about abatements last year. It seemed like somebody from that family came.
Abatements or the
No,
white?
TIF, on 276.
Now, this is a different cemetery that's
Okay.
across the road, but it's
Yeah.
within a mile of the Roberts Cemetery, but it's across the road. And
I
it's,
think they were concerned about their church,
yeah,
276 and all that.
yeah.
But the county paid for that road, no.
The county is paying for it.
Well, yeah, and the thing
And
is,
that's what our
that-
TIF district's probably gonna pay for.
and I said to them,
Infrastructure doesn't include fire and emergency then. Right.
Roads,
Doesn't-
sewers,
doesn't-
drainage.
well, and here's something else. White River Township has this new Katewi Park, and they're gonna have a toboggan slide, and they're having an archery thing so that people can go out and shoot. But the fire service, the fire department that's for that place is White River Township, and they don't, they rely on Cicero for their EMS. So they've increased Cicero's, I think people with bow and arrows and people that are sliding down the hills of snow would tend to have a higher rate of getting hurt. Just saying.
I don't know where you come.
So I wish they'd kind of considered that as well. And Cicero's stretched so thin right now because they're doing all of White River. I don't know. Anyway.
Do we have anything else to discuss
I'll
today?
make a motion, sure.